Hey, it's Niall. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm looking at photo AI. Fire your photographer. Take stunning photos of people with the first AI photographer. Generate photo and video content for your social media with AI. Save time and money and do an AI photo shoot from your laptop or phone instead of hiring an expensive photographer. I've spent several hours playing around with photo AI to see if it lives up to the hype. In this video, I'll show you what kind of results I got from it, the issues I encountered, some tips for using it effectively, and 2 business ideas it inspired. Let's get into it. So first off, let's just look at what photo AI can do. There's loads of examples here on the homepage. They all look really good. And then I can show you some of my examples. These were some of the first ones it generated. There's the classic one of me with puppies and hair suddenly. Me with my shirt off. Another one with hair. It seems to love giving me hair for some reason. This is one that actually looks like me. A grotesque one. Not sure why it came back with that. Another one with my shirt off. Me as a woman. Interesting. Me with dark skin. Another one with my shirt off. You can see the fingers in this one are a little weird. I have an extra finger here. We'll get back to that later. There's a few issues like that that keep coming up. Here's me giving a TEDx talk that I never gave, looking pretty good. And me on a private jet. So those are the photos it generates pretty much out of the box for you. And they are very good, but they're a little misleading. When you want it to generate photos of you in a specific pose, you don't get such good results, which I'll show you in a bit. But here's me logged into my account and you can see a whole bunch of images I've generated here. If I go into saved, these are the ones that I actually liked more than others. You can see a lot of them here. Let's quickly talk about the pricing of photo AI. So I signed up for the premium plan, which at the moment is $42 per month if you sign up for a year, but I just signed up for it for 1 month, so it cost me $99. Now with that, I got 3,000 credits, which is a lot actually. I've generated a ton of photos here and I still have about 1,000 credits left. So I've only used 2/3 of my credits while generating hundreds and hundreds of images, not all of which are usable. But if you're going to go for any plan, I think if you're just using this to generate a few dozen good photos of yourself, maybe even a few hundred, then the premium plan is pretty good and you probably only need it for a month. A little bit about my use case. Why did I even sign up for this in the first place? Well, I mainly wanted it for YouTube video thumbnails, to generate images of me for use on those thumbnails. Why is that important? Well, this article here kind of lays out how important a thumbnail is on a YouTube video. 72% of popular YouTube thumbnails contained a human face, and on average, these thumbnails snagged almost 1 million more views than thumbnails without. So having an expressive face in your YouTube thumbnails is supposed to help you get more clicks and views on your video. And before photo AI, I was doing the usual thing. I was taking photos of myself, usually in front of a green screen. They didn't come out great. I'm not a professional photographer. I didn't hire a professional photographer. So you can see these are the before thumbnails with the images that I took myself. Not that sharp. They don't really pop. And then these are some thumbnails I've created with the help of photo AI. So I generated these images of myself with photo AI. You can see 3 of them here. And then I bring those images of myself into Photoshop to create the thumbnails. And I think they look much sharper, much better. And I think they're going to get more clicks and more views. You can also see some of the thumbnails I generated using photo AI here on my TikTok channel. So before, I was just using a default thumbnail. After, I was using these thumbnails with the image of me generated with photo AI. I think they look much better. And another thing I wanted to use photo AI for was to generate images of myself for book covers like this one. I put out a book like this every month. I wanted an image of myself, a different image on each book cover. And photo AI seems like a good way to do that. So this is it for December 2024, but I've generated enough for a whole year. There's another one. Again, all these are from photo AI, and I think they look pretty good. Again, I did have to bring these raw photos. This is what photo AI generated. I brought those into Photoshop to actually create the book covers. So this right here is what Photo AI generated. And I like that I could get it to generate me wearing different clothes as well. So I asked for a winter coat in this one, you know, warmer clothes in the winter months that I'm having for winter book covers. And then I can have myself in a sweater, in a hoodie, in a t-shirt. It's able to generate those pretty good. Let's talk about some of the issues I encountered with Photo AI. First thing is, I mentioned it already, it kept giving me hair and it would often show me naked. So it would often show me with my shirt off. I wasn't specifying that I should be shirtless, but it would just randomly generate images of me with my shirt off, and it would give me hair quite a lot. For some reason, it doesn't seem to like my baldness. Some of them, of course, would show me bald, but here I am with hair. Here I am with hair again. Hair again. More often than not, it would give me hair, and every now and then it would show me with my shirt off as well. So what I had to do is specify in every prompt that I should have a shaved head and a shaved face. Another issue is that emotions and gestures specified in the prompt are often ignored. Here's an example where I say pointing to one side and model should have his mouth closed. Now the results I got from that, I don't know if you can see it there, but every single photo I got back had my mouth open, and I wasn't always pointing to the side. That's not pointing to the side. This one is pointing up. This one is pointing straight forward. This one is 2 thumbs up, and it even has extra thumbs in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. So quite often when you put in a prompt, you tell it exactly what you want the model to be doing. It just ignores that, and you have to generate dozens and dozens of photos to hopefully get one that's exactly what you wanted. Here's another batch I generated. Again, mouth open in every single one of them, and not always pointing to the side. Some deformities there as well. Speaking of those deformities, there's a lot of them. I'd say only 5 to 10% of the photos I generated here in Photo AI were actually usable. A lot of issues with teeth, fingers, eyes. Sometimes it would give me a random tattoo, or just sometimes it wouldn't look like me at all. So this one, for example, the teeth are a bit weird. Teeth are weird in this one. Also has some weird fingers there. My teeth look pretty weird in this one, and my head is a little bit deformed. Fingers look quite strange there as well. Here's some very weird fingers. Sometimes it just gives you an extra finger for no particular reason. Here the eyes are way too far up my head, and I have some strange fingers. Very strange teeth in this one. Now you can do what's called remix a photo, which you can see here, where it's a photo that's almost what you want, but not quite. You can remix it. I found that that often doesn't produce great results. You just get tiny, tiny variations on the photo. And if the original photo wasn't quite usable in the first place, remixing it usually wouldn't give you a version of it that's usable. Here's an example that doesn't look like me at all, and the teeth are kind of weird. You can see more weird teeth in this batch. And as I wrote here, generated 48 photos with this prompt, pointing or gesturing to one side, and maybe only one is usable. So that happened every now and then. I generate 48, 50 photos, use a lot of credits, and I'd only get one usable photo out of it. Here's that example of me with a random tattoo and a bit of a strange ear. Often I'd get results like this that are pretty good, but there's something a little off with it. In this case, it's my thumb, which looks pretty weird and long there, so I couldn't use this one. Weird teeth here is a good example, and the eyes are a little bit off as well. Here I said model should have a curious, inquisitive look on his face, but it actually looked more like surprise than curiosity. I did try using the emotion drop down. I think they added that recently, but that didn't give me great results either. It was either too happy or too sad, a little bit too extreme with the expressions I got out of that. Nice random eyebrows in this one, crazy eyes in this, too many fingers. This happens a lot. So I think you get the idea there. You basically have to generate a ton of photos to get a good few that are usable. I spent 2,000 credits. I ended up with maybe 50, 60 or 70. It was less than 100. Out of 2,000 generated images, I ended up with less than 100 that I thought were good and usable, and I can use for video thumbnails, book covers, etc. The last issue to mention here, which wasn't clear to me when I signed up for this, is that you can generate a photo. You've used credits to do that. But now if you download it, it'll download in pretty low resolution, and what you need to do is click upscale, and that will use 5 photo credits to actually produce a high resolution version of it that you can use in thumbnails or whatever. So just keep that in mind, that it's not as simple as each photo you generate here you can just download and use it. You're probably going to have to upscale it and spend more photo credits before you can use it. There's another one of me with weird eyes. Before I get to my tips for getting the most out of photo AI, plus 2 business ideas off the back of all this, if you're finding this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Only takes a second, but it really helps me reach more people here on YouTube and grow the channel. Also, if you're looking for ways to make money online, then check out the free ebook I put out each month. This month's one is 45 business ideas for December 2024. They're all legit business ideas that I've researched and written up myself in the last few weeks. No AI generated content, and you can download it for free via the link in the description. I put out a new version of that ebook each month, so even if you're watching this video long after I published it, click the link in the description and you can download the latest edition. Alright, tips for getting the most out of photo AI. The first one is to upload as many photos as you can to train it. So when you first sign up, it asks you to upload a bunch of photos. This is what I tried first. So I did this 3 different times. First time, I thought I uploaded quite a lot of photos of me in various poses. Didn't get great results from that. So second time, I uploaded more photos. Still didn't get great results. So the third time, I went even further, uploaded a bunch of photos of me. I wanted me pointing in a lot of photos, so I figured I'd better upload a lot of selfies of me pointing, which I did. And ultimately, I did get better results with this. But the main takeaway here is the more images you can upload, the better. And I would recommend taking photos of yourself in various poses, making various faces that you want the AI to be able to generate. Because it's going to be hard for the AI to make it look like you unless it's seen you in a similar pose or making a similar expression. Second thing, be prepared to spend a lot of time prompting this and playing around with the different prompts. You can see the prompt that I mainly used here, or a version of it. I used lots of different prompts. I can put a few in the description that you can copy if you like. But I would generally go with 8 photos at a time. Landscape I ended up doing in the end because I wanted to actually get my shoulders in the photo. This is one of the prompts I used, and I would usually just tweak that prompt each time. So making a different expression or wearing something different. Sometimes I would tell it I'd be wearing a t-shirt or a hoodie. Creativity versus resemblance, I usually had that all the way up almost to the max. And it says here, if your photos do not resemble you, try move this bar to the right. So a lot of the images that it generated didn't quite look like me until I put this bar pretty much all the way to the right. It would still generate photos that didn't quite look like me, but it was better. You have an option here, style, film type. I just left that blank. Emotion I played around with, didn't get great results, so I ended up leaving that blank. Camera position, I usually ended up going with full body. Didn't always mean I got a full body shot. Actually, it would usually just be from the chest up. It would never be full body. And place I would leave blank as well. And again, this was for my use case to generate images for YouTube. I always had in the prompt as well that I wanted it on a one solid white color background with no shadows for use on a YouTube thumbnail. And the reason I did that, initially I was going with a green background, but it would actually have a little tint of green on my skin there. So if I put myself on anything but a green background, it would look a little strange. Here's an example of that. I cut myself out of a green background, and then when I put myself on a blue background, it didn't actually look great. So I'd recommend always putting yourself on a white background if you want to be able to use the cutout of yourself on any color background. And I didn't mention the packs here that it can use to generate different types of images, like keynote speaker images of yourself, sexy Valentine images. I never tried that one, or the boudoir one. There is a YouTube thumbnail one here somewhere. Here we go, YouTube thumbnail reaction face generator. I did not get great results from that. Actually, here you can see what it generated. And I didn't like these because you don't really have any control over them. You can't tweak them, you can't get a set expression or specific expression. It just generates a batch for you of whatever it thinks would be useful for a YouTube thumbnail. For some reason, it always generated a few of me with a clown face as well. And again, it would often give me hair. Back to pricing, and you might be wondering, should you actually go for their yearly deal? Because they give you a big discount if you sign up for annual. You get 6+ months free. It's much, much cheaper than monthly. But for me personally, signing up for 1 month and just spending a few hours to generate loads and loads of images that I can actually use, that will do me for at least a year. So with as many credits as you get in the premium plan, you could just sign up for 1 month, pay the $99, spend a few hours in there generating all the images you want. You have plenty of credits to do that. Get maybe 50 to 100 good images, and then that'll probably do you for a long, long time. So for most people, I'm not really sure it's worth signing up for the yearly plan, unless you're going to be using this month after month after month to generate tons and tons of images. All right, last thing. 2 business ideas inspired by photo AI. First one is to become a YouTube thumbnail designer. So if you go on Fiverr, there's a bunch of these YouTube thumbnail design gigs. And a lot of them have more than 1,000 reviews, which means they're doing a lot of business. I particularly like this guy. He is from Bangladesh. He's gotten more than 3,000 reviews, so he's probably done tens of thousands of orders here on Fiverr. And I really like that he has this niche thumbnail gig for crypto or NFT businesses. Didn't get a lot of reviews, probably not that popular anymore, but I like his idea there to go niche. Let's go into his most popular gig, which is this one. He has more than 2,500 reviews. He usually has about 50 orders in the queue, and he's charging $10 to $45 to $90 per gig. And I believe he also has an extra offer for 3 hours delivery. So there's also an extra order bump there. So with about 50 orders in the queue each day, he's probably earning at least $500 per day from this gig. But I'd say it's actually more like $1,000 per day from this gig. He probably has a team that helps him generate these thumbnails. So the first business idea here is to emulate this guy. Become a YouTube thumbnail designer. You would have clients send you a bunch of selfies. You can generate a model of them in Photo AI. As long as you have permission, you can generate models in Photo AI of other people. And then you can create awesome thumbnails like what this guy is doing. And if you build it up over time, do good work, you could end up earning $500 to $1,000 a day like this guy. That said, I'm not sure setting up a Fiverr gig and trying to compete with all these other people on Fiverr would be the way to go here. If you did want to become a thumbnail designer, what I would recommend is to go and find YouTube channels that are pretty popular but don't have great thumbnails and offer your service directly to them. Pitch them directly, maybe send them a couple of free samples so they can see what you do. Here's an example of a channel I would pitch if I was going to do this. Walk With Me Tim. Popular channel, 570,000 subscribers, but his thumbnails aren't great. It looks like he makes them himself, kind of throws them together. Sometimes they're just actually a still from the video. So I think his thumbnails could be a lot better, and he would actually get a lot more clicks and views if he had better thumbnails. So that would be the type of channel to pitch this service to. The second business idea here is more advanced, but it's to basically create your own version of Photo AI. You would need some coding skill to do this, obviously, but make it especially for YouTube thumbnails. Photo AI is really a jack of all trades. It generates all kinds of different photos, and I don't think it does a particularly great job at generating any specific type of photo, except maybe the first ones when you sign up, because I think it's done so many reps generating those type of photos that they're generally pretty good and impressive right out of the gate. But if you try and get more specific as to what you want, it often struggles to interpret those specific prompts. So what I would pay for, probably on an ongoing month-to-month basis, is Photo AI, but specifically for YouTube thumbnails. As I said, I had to generate thousands of images to get less than 100 that I could use in YouTube thumbnails. So that's not great. It could definitely be better. And a business like that could be very lucrative. Photo AI is created by Pieter Levels. Here he is on Twitter, X, and he lists here how much revenue each of his businesses is doing per month. Photo AI, $120,000 per month. I would think if you just focused on YouTube thumbnails, you could probably build that business to at least 20% of what he's earning here, which would be $24K per month. which is a pretty nice software business. Not the easiest thing to build, but I definitely think there's a market there for that. I would certainly pay for something like that myself. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Comments welcome as always.